Is DeepSeek AI a Trojan horse, or is it David and Goliath story? We're going to find out today. Hi, this is Dan Wagner. I'm with my lovely co-host, Lori Ryan, and this is the Daily AI Experiment. This is episode 22, and we're going to talk today about DeepSeek. And if you don't know anything about DeepSeek, you're going to find out all about it. Hey, Lori, how you doing?
Awesome. Trying to figure out what all this DeepSeek stuff means, because it's been the talk of everything today. Every single person I feel like that I've had the chance to speak with today has brought it up. What does it mean? Should I get an account? Those types of questions. Right.
So maybe for a little background, we'll help people understand. I don't know that much about it, but I do know, first of all, it was developed in China based on open source technology, and they were able to build it at a small fraction of the cost of OpenAI and Perplexity and all these other models. And the question is, A, is it as good? There's been a lot of benchmarks that say it's pretty doggone good. And, where does it sit? What does it mean for tomorrow? And that's what I know. What do you know about it?
That's really interesting. Nicole Leffer had a really interesting post. I follow her on LinkedIn, Nicole Leffer. She just said that she's keeping in mind that the widespread narrative about it and what it means for AI infrastructure and cost. And she thought it was interesting on the timing of this announcement, just after our new president announced his major AI infrastructure initiative, Stargate. And is that a coincidence? The other thing is, are we certain of what is being told to us about the costs of this? Do we need to look into it more? Do we believe everything we hear? I don't know. It's just there's a lot to consider around everything. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what the going narrative is on the cost. So some of the costs that drive up the prices here in the U.S. or in the Western world for AI are a variety of things. We have strict copyright laws and the ability to basically differentiate between copyrighted materials and non-copyrighted, legal concerns. That slows down the process a lot. Now, whether it's true or not, the narrative is that in China, they don't have any respect for copyright laws. They just gather up everything, shove it into the LLM, and train it that way. That could be a factor of cost, I think. What else have you heard about cost?
I don't know, but my head went right. I started asking ChatGPT just about the whole sustainability. Like, I didn't know, is it taking less infrastructure or fewer GPUs or whatever it is to run their models? Because if that's the case, this could prove to be valuable and great for us here in the US if it could run using less energy. Have you heard anything about that?
I have heard some things about it. My understanding is it does utilize a slightly different technology, but I couldn't tell you anything about it besides the fact that it seems to be a little more efficient, not requiring so much computing power to provide similar or the same results. So I've heard the same thing. So yeah.
I did download the app today. However, I've not signed up for it yet. I talked to someone who thought that the results were very similar to ChatGPT, didn't see that it did anything that was better or made it significantly worthwhile at this point. But there you have it. The other interesting thing that happened was when I logged into Perplexity, it seemed like it accessed DeepSeek. So I don't know if we want to take a look at that and see what that experience looks like, and maybe see if you see something interesting that I wasn't able to see with my own eyes. What are your thoughts on that? If so, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Let's. So I did see. I saw a post about, oh, this is a backdoor, blah 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 blah, and then I saw a counter post that I thought was very interesting. It's like, so the idea was, and this goes to another conversation that I heard recently, basically saying that technological dominance is equivalent to being the world leader, so and I thought this was well stated. I can't remember the person that said this, the author, but I thought they made a good point. It was actually a immigrant from Canada who has Indian parents, so from East Indian parents, and he was saying that if we want, well, basically he was saying we want America to be the strongest power on the planet. That was his position. I don't disagree, because the other option is someone else will be. And if in America, in spite of its faults, has made, I think, very consistent attempts to deal with the world fairly. Again, there's, people can argue that, but it's kind of a known quantity, I think. And so the point being that technological advances or technological supremacy equals military supremacy equals financial supremacy. And I thought it was a really fascinating conversation when blended with this DeepSeek argument, which might be something like, no, there isn't a back door. China's not interested in a back door. China's taking the long game, and they want technological supremacy 10 years down the road or whatever that might be. So anyhow, very fascinating geopolitical posturing, etc. And I just think it's fascinating. Anyhow, so you brought up Perplexity. So Perplexity, I haven't used it that much, so maybe you can walk us through what you're doing here and what's going on the screen.
You bet. I'm a huge fan of Perplexity for research, competitive analysis. I know ChatGPT with search. There are a lot of people saying that they feel less of a need for Perplexity now that ChatGPT has such great search capabilities and it gives you all its sources and you can call it up. But I still like Perplexity for search. In fact, I just did invest to continue my pro plan. And here's what I saw today when I logged in. Perplexity and DeepSeek have recently become interconnected. Perplexity has launched DeepSeek R1, a new reasoning model on its platform, the world's most powerful reasoning model. And here it says it's available for both free and paid Perplexity users.
So when was this released? Is there a date on this?
Let's see. When was this released? I had never seen it before today, but there it is. DeepSeek R1 was released on Perplexity earlier today on January 27th.
Well, aren't you up to date?
I had no, and it was an accident, right? I stumbled onto it. Available, blah, blah, blah. A new pro search reasoning. I'd be curious what.
By the way, if this, we might be just, we might be announcing it first to the world, so anyhow, you heard it right here first.
Of searches with, I don't even know. I don't even know how I'd use this yet, right? Mathematical problems, coding queries, logical reasoning, in-depth research, multi-source analysis, complex problem solving, scenario analysis.
Excellent. Wow. So breaking news right here at the daily AI experiment, just so you know.
Like, okay, I like the idea of scenario analysis. I'm speaking to the U of M Entrepreneurship Club in February. What kind of scenario could you imagine to present to this group to show what DeepSeek R1 is capable of that would resonate with this group? Probably doesn't even know U of M is University of Minnesota. Okay. I don't know, because like I wouldn't even know where to start with this, right? So this is how I can sometimes coming up with ideas.
Great. Yeah.
Imagine you're presenting where a group of students has an innovative idea for a campus-wide sustainability app. This app would help students track, blah, blah, blah. Here's how DeepSeek R1 could assist them.
Yeah, it's all the good stuff, right?
You could walk through a live interaction with DeepSeek R1 asking to tackle one or more of these challenges in real time. So let's have it do this. So the question
hold on a
is,
second. That was a link. What happens if you click on that?
I need to know where to find, like now I'm like, how do I engage DeepSeek in Perplexity?
Right.
Like, how do I find it?
So how much does your Perplexity cost a month?
It's like $200 a year. You have to pay up front.
Oh.
I'm still not. How about within?
It says
physical. There.
Yeah, it says, see the very last one on the one above? So it's available to free and paid user. Visit the website. Use the Pro search.
I have Pro search. Oh, you go to the model.
There
right?
you go.
Featuring you. Okay, so now I would go back here and I would say, where was it? Here? Help me. I don't know. So I took in what it gave for the market idea for a campus-wide sustainability app. Let's see what it comes up with. Oh, look at this. If it's taking too long to think, you can enable a desktop notification when it's done. I've never done that. Let's see what it looks like. It's going so fast, I can't even click the button. There. It's going to show Perplexity notifications. All right. Does that mean it's giving more time? Do I know if it's done? Here it is. Imagine a group of students who have an innovative idea for a sustainability market. They need to understand the existing market, identify competitors, technical feasibility, can rapidly analyze vast amounts of data, student behaviors it can provide.
Is this the same?
It's kind of the same, but more detailed with this. You could walk through a live interaction. Okay. Follow up. Let's see what it does. And we don't have to go much further down this rabbit hole, but beginning analysis. It's kind of interesting to watch this process, right? Okay, so I need to help analyze the sustainability app market. First, I should look into what the University of Minnesota is already doing. Next, it's kind of walking you through its steps of reasoning, right? Which I think is good to learn from.
Right. And so, I mean, that's something.
I have no idea if any of this is true, though. I mean,
right. But that is something that's really, that's something you learn over time. Is how do you build a path to an outcome, and so this is a really great tool just for helping people even evaluate whether their reasoning process is up to snuff. Are they just jumping to conclusions? Are they relying too much on their prejudices, their preconceived ideas, or are they actually going step by step to try to determine that? Now, obviously, LLMs have their own preconceived ideas, but and maybe they can hide them better than us humans can. But
here you go, the overview of the sustainability, the competitor analysis, university-specific apps could benefit from an app tailored to its community, technical and user considerations, funding and partnerships. I don't know, kind of fun and cool to think about. And then here you go. Here's how you can try DeepSeek. In this model, it says DeepSeek model hosted in US.
Oh, well, isn't that interesting and a way to avoid those concerns, right? Yeah,
I'm going to stop sharing.
TikTok thing and all these concerns. Yeah, so very good.
That's all I got, but that's how I started to learn about it. And then I have an intern, a coworker, we started just asking a bunch of questions about it and seeing what kind of answers we could get. And then we still have to go through and figure out if the answers we got are legit, right? How much of it can we believe, or how, kind of research the sources that they came from.
True. Yeah, so I did notice in the description of DeepSeek that supposedly it's good at academic, researching academic studies and being accurate in that regard. That's a big complaint in some of the circles I hang out with. Is like, that's not how that works, or whatever. My sciencey friends, But
good to have sciencey friends.
Oh, totally. Well, that's fascinating. So now I happen to know that DeepSeek, I saw an announcement on their website. They're talking about DeepSeek R3 already. And I don't know. And then I thought they just launched DeepSeek R2.
I think that's what I just got on my phone. Here, I'll show you what it looks like.
Excellent.
Here, that's what the app. Oh, and I'm probably on blurry. Oh, there. That's what it looks like, kind of.
Yeah. The little. Is
and
it
then
whale?
I have not logged in, but I think it is DeepSeek 2 or something like that.
Yeah, DeepSeek R2. Yes, that's. It's really pace of innovation, emerging split between fast, lightweight models. Yeah, it's also fast. So yeah, you're right. You're talking about the president's bringing all these industry leaders and trying to build this super data center, blah, 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 right? There's concerns about, will the energy needs for AI outstrip our ability to provide the energy? I've heard discussions about this. I don't know if that's a real concern either. But, it might not be, I've heard some concerns, well, we probably couldn't do it in a green way. Do we give up our technological superiority out of concerns for the environment? Well, then you're basically handing over that superiority to countries that may not have as much interest in in the environment.
It's so complex. And I'm like, I'm so glad I'm just here on the grassroots level.
Just chipping away at my keyboard.
Just keep playing, keep learning.
Keep learning. Yeah. And there's something to that. And so I'm very, I tend to be optimistic about things and the role of technology. I think, a lot of people find it frightening. I think the reality is that the new frightening thing is the most frightening. But I'm going to tell you, there's plenty of old frightening things that if you thought about it long enough, you'd still realize, how frightening they are. And, not to remind everybody, but there's some pretty crazy technological advances that have happened over the last 100 years. And
For sure.
We survived. I remember how people were so freaked out over the internet. It's gonna take over our lives. And it might all do that, but not this week. So.
And you know what? Saturday Night Live actually had a skit this week about AI in the classroom.
Okay.
It may not have been the funniest skit, but I appreciated their effort to bring it to life.
Right. To be current. Right.
To be current. Yeah. And talking about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to go watch it after we get off here. Well, that's fascinating, Lori. Thanks for doing a little bit of that research. I'm so slow on this stuff. I tend to dig into what I have. I think I consider myself very exploratory. I think you're far more exploratory than I am.
Some stuff happens by accident. So
True.
The intern that I'm working with, right, her class, they originally said, we want you to do all your research on Perplexity, right? And now the instructor has said, actually, you have a choice. You can either do ChatGPT Plus or Perplexity. So I said, well, I don't know if you logged into Perplexity yet. Let's do it together because I have this account, and let's see how the answers, or what the experience is like as we were seeking out information on DeepSeek. We started in ChatGPT and then we moved it to Perplexity. And that's where it hit me that, hey, DeepSeek R1 is in Perplexity. And I'm like, whoa.
That's crazy. Yeah, we're all learning. I actually, in my tool that I literally built today, I was playing with something. I was like, so one of the tools creates what we call an alignment message. It's a sales idea that you want to align your needs with your customer, help them understand their problems, and hopefully your need meets their problem. And my tool does that. And I realized it's like, I think it's part of being around you, Lori, to be quite honest, give you a little props here. I realized that I can actually prompt in this thing. It's like, be more casual. One thing I said was, when you're setting up so an alignment message would be, hey, Jim, I see you're doing this cool thing at ABC company. What I do is I help companies just like yours with this and that and the other thing. And because of this and that and the other reason, the problem you're trying to solve, I'm very aware of it. This one I said, use more emotion, I said in the prompt. And I said, also, talk about what they might imagine, or talk about something to the effect, I could probably look at it, but something like, imagine this. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever thought of this or whatever? It did it perfectly. It's like, which blew me away. And it was like, it was there the whole time. And I never thought I thought, I really love our alignment messages, but sometimes they're a little dry. This way, it's like, you're asking the person to put themselves, to use their imagination and stuff like that. And I think that's even more powerful when you're trying to convey something that might change the way they do things. It's like, imagine if it was better, anyhow. I thought it was great. I give you credit for that outside the box thinking. And I think all our subscribers, all our viewers, all the people that show up at your talks, all the people that see your other content online.
I'm blushing.
They're all learning. You're blushing. Oh, they're all learning. You know what? This is an amazing tool that with some imagination can be brought to a whole new level. And that's kind of a neat thing, right? We're worried about AI taking over our lives. Well, how about we take over AI and we learn to use it to its optimum capacity? AI won't tell you that. This is the creative spirit within us that's going to draw out the capacity of this amazing technology. So
that's what it's all about.
That's my little inspiration speech for the day.
Love it. Well, fabulous way to close out today's episode. I'm glad you can keep track of the numbers too. They're getting too high for me to count.
Right. Yeah. I lose track after about 8. Anyhow, please like and subscribe, everybody. Comment. We want to hear what you have to say. And we're going to see you soon, hopefully very soon. And we'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Thanks, Lori.